On the news, consensus reached for the deployment of digital infrastructure in combating security challenges across Nigeria. ECOWAS Council of Ministers adopts the report on contingency plan for the exit of 3 Sahelian states. Plus, Speaker Obasa calls for unity as court declares initial removal unconstitutional. Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Lami Ali. Following the outcome of a high-level closed-door session between members of the Nigeria Governors Forum and the Chief of Defence Staff, General Christopher Musa, that lasted several hours, a consensus has been reached for the deployment of digital infrastructure in combating security challenges across the country. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Security challenges in parts of the country have remained a burning issue of national concern, and to frontally address the problem, the Nigerian Governors Forum is backing the deployment of digital infrastructure proposed by the Chief of Defence Staff, General Christopher Musa.
The project envisions the phased deployment of advanced technology and infrastructure to improve surveillance, crisis management, and public safety. Governors expressed support for the initiative's objective and underscored the importance of technology-driven solutions in addressing evolving security challenges.
The forum also received a briefing on housing and power reforms at sub-national level.
The National Land Registration and Titling Program, which we need the collaboration with the state governors and the buy-in to ensure that, because and the establishment of the National Land Commission, which is a commission we intend to establish.
The Powercom Smart Grid Nigerian Limited will assume operational control of select distribution companies, DISCOs, introduce advanced smart grid technologies, and establish a meter production facility to enhance service delivery and energy access across the state.
The NGF promised to study the opportunities and benefits in the proposed partnerships to improve critical services and empower Nigerians at the grassroots. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
On the international scene, the ECOWAS Council of Ministers rose from its extraordinary session in Accra, Ghana, on finalizing and adopting the report on contingency plan for the exit of 3 Sahelian states. Kelvin Eunai reports that the resolution is to be presented to the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Governments.
It was a long hours of marathon meeting of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers. The mandate was to arrive at a strategy for the smooth transition of ECOWAS institutions domiciled in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso as a contingency plan. Although the content of the report was not revealed to the media, the chairman of the council and Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, and his Ghanaian counterpart, Samuel Ablakwa, said the council carried out the mandate given to it by the Authority of Heads of States and Government, who will meet in June to ratify it, emphasizing that the report is comprehensive enough to aid the ECOWAS Commission in carrying out the transition of the affected institutions.
We must never underestimate our region's indispensable role in the Atlantic littoral ecosystem and our contributions to the creation of the modern world. Someone once said that the point of diplomacy is to change the incentives and framework in ways that move parties from irreconcilable positions to a deal both see as a win. That is what we set out to achieve here.
The mandate we were given by the heads of state, we have executed that mandate, and we are very, very happy with the outcome. And I have to salute colleagues for the dedication. You have been here with us. You've seen that it's been a marathon. I mean, it's almost 1 a.m. and we we have been able to, in more than 48 hours, execute this really difficult and I must say unpleasant task.
The Council also made it clear that the relocation of ECOWAS institutions from the Sahelian states does not shut the door on continuous engagement with the three countries. In Accra, Kelvin Ebonwaye, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Assembly has extended the date for the resumption of plenary session from Tuesday 29 April 2025 to Tuesday 6 May 2025. A statement from the clerk to the National Assembly, Kamaru Gunlana, explains that the extension is to allow senators and members to participate in the Workers' Day ceremony. The extension would also enable members of the Senate and House of Representatives to attend to other engagements in their constituencies. Now, the National Assembly has consistently expressed unwavering commitment to enhance good governance through effective discharge of constitutional mandates. NTA Parliament News sought to know issues of priority awaiting legislative considerations when the two chambers of the National Assembly reconvene plenary in May. The Senate Chief Whip, Mohammed Tahir Mangunu, is our guest. Distinguished, thank you for joining us on Parliamentary News. Now, what are the likely issues to dominate the attention when you resume from recess?
I think the Senate will be engaged with the tax reform bill immediately it resumes, because it's a very, very fundamental bill that, or bills, tax reform bills, that are desirous of revolutionizing tax regimes, the tax regime in Nigeria, in order to bring it in consonance with international best practice, capture as many as possible Nigerians into the tax net in order to boost the revenue of the country. And at the same time, there are provisions for exemption of certain category of Nigerians from tax, also exemption of agricultural, pharmaceutical, and educational products from tax. So this will go a long way in lessening the tax burden on Nigerians, the vast majority of Nigerians that are not well-to-do, and also bring into the tax net Nigerians that are hitherto not paying taxes. So the Senate, the attention of the Senate will be seriously engaged in trying to pass the tax reform bills before it for forcible assent by Mr. President in order to bring the tax regime in Nigeria in consonance with international best practice. And then, having passed the budget, the Senate will also, through the instrumentality of its various committees, go on oversight in order to ensure that Nigerians get value for money, to ensure that the budget, as is religiously executed as the law, appropriation law, in order to bring dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the people. So we can see a situation whereby the various committees of the Senate will be going out to engage the various ministries, departments on oversight, to put them on their toes, to ensure that the budget is implemented to the letter in order to bring dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the people. Then the constitution is not supposed to be static. A constitution of a country is supposed to be a dynamic document that changes with the changing nature of society. So the Constitution being an organic document that is supposed to change with the changing nature of society, the Constitution Review Committee will bring to the attention of the Senate in plenary all areas that is sought to be amended in the Constitution in order to cure certain gaps or lacuna that is observed in the Constitution that the initial drafters of the Constitution have not put into consideration, or the situation didn't arise as at that time that necessitates the amendment of the Constitution now to bring it in tandem with the realities of society nowadays. So the attention of the Senate will also be drawn to the issue of Constitution amendment in order to bring our Constitution in tandem with the realities of today. So these are some of the issues that the attention of the Senate will be engaged in upon resumption.
Now, with regards to constitution review, there is increasing agitation for establishment of state police and state creation. What is the opinion of the National Assembly on these matters?
Well, with regard to the issue of the state police, I think there is general consensus amongst Nigerians that there is a need to create state police, especially having regard to the avalanche of security problems that we have across the nooks and crannies of the country. And then the fact that most states are now creating their own vigilante in order to bring security to the doorsteps of the people. For example, in Borno State, we have the civilian JTF, which is contributing a lot significantly towards reducing the incidences of security breaches in the state. And like other states also have various vigilante groups that they have created, which is akin to state police. So I think there is momentum now for the creation of state police in order to bridge the gap that is inherent in the operation of the Nigerian police, because the Nigerian police, with regard to their number, does not even meet the international standard of policing of specific number of people per police. So I think the issue of state police will see the light of the day. But the issue of state creation is so controversial, and looking at the nature of Nigerians, every senatorial district will aspire to be a state of its own. So it's going to be very difficult for it to pass through. It's like camel passing through the eye of a needle, the issue of state creation. But state police may likely see the light of the day. But the controversy that the creation of a state would generate, I don't think it will see the light of the day.
Finally, lately, legislative breaks has become a matter of discourse in public domain. How many are the official sitting days for the National Assembly within a year?
In every session, as per the Constitution, the legislature is supposed to sit for 181 days. And then the 181 days is calculated from Monday to Friday. And it's not only restricted to plenary days. It includes committee sittings, oversight visits of various committee meetings, and what have you. So there's only one recess, which is the annual recess, which is done at the end of each session from July. Maybe it runs for sometimes 6 weeks and 3 or 8 weeks. That's the annual recess. All the other ones are breaks, maybe Salah break, maybe Christmas break, like the one that we are presently in, Easter break, which coincided with Salah break. Easter break and Salah break coincided. That's why we are now on this Easter break, and we extended it by 1 week because there is Workers' Day, so that legislators will participate in the Workers' Day, and also use that as an opportunity to further engage with their constituents. So the number of days that is allowed by the Constitution is 181 days, and this 181 days is inclusive of committee activities that is sometimes ongoing even during our breaks and oversight visits also.
Thank you for your time, distinguished Senator Mohammed Tahir Munguno. That was the Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Mohammed Tahir Munguno, speaking to us on priorities for the National Assembly when the two chambers resume for plenary. Time to pause now for some messages. The news continues with stories from the state assemblies shortly. So stay tuned.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
You're welcome back. You're watching NTA Parliament News, reaching you from the federal capital of Nigeria, Abuja. You can follow the platforms on the screen for more updates. Now, the Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has described the Lagos State High Court ruling, which declared his initial removal in January illegal, unconstitutional, null and void, as a win for the Assembly as an institution. This is contained in a statement released by his media office. He said that the court's decision reinforces the desire for lawmakers to see the need to forge ahead in unity and harmony and continue to work for the good of residents of the state. Justice Yetunde Pinero of the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja on Wednesday, 16th of April, also nullified the proceedings and resolutions of the Assembly held on January 13, 2025, during which Obasa was ousted from office. Obasa had filed a suit on February 12, 2025, through his counsel, Chief Afolabi Fashanu SAN, challenging his removal because it was effected while the Assembly was on recess and he was outside the country. The Speaker further argued that the House session during which he was removed was unlawfully convened and lacked proper authority or any formal delegation of power from the Speaker's office. He named the House of Assembly and the Deputy Speaker, Mojishola Miranda, as defendants. In a bid to deliver essential medical services to the people in the rural areas, the Cross River State House of Assembly has called on the Ministry of Health to deploy additional health personnel to the General Hospital in Abuja local government area. This was the resolution reached by the House when the current situation at the General Hospital was raised by a member representing Abuja State Constituency, Ovat Agbo, during plenary.
For government to actualize its responsibility of providing efficient healthcare services to the people, it must ensure availability of adequate medical professionals in different health facilities. While presenting the current situation of the General Hospital in Abuja during plenary, member representing Abuja 1 State Constituency, Ovat Agbo, noted that there is only one resident doctor at the hospital, with overwhelming demands for services, thereby reducing quality health care. In his motion, he called on the executive arm of government, through the Ministry of Health, to urgently deploy doctors and other health professionals to the General Hospital, Abuja, while engaging retired doctors for effective healthcare delivery.
You have one doctor, And sometimes you go there, you see so many patients waiting to get attention and they cannot. And you know the nurses cannot do much without the doctor's prescription. So they always wait for the doctor. And you know that when sometimes surgery is being taken place in the hospital, everybody have to wait because the doctor is in the theater.
Co-sponsors of the motion emphasized the need to equip the state's medical facilities and also increase doctors' pay package.
So, Abuja General Hospital is having these issues because I think government has to do something on the employment of doctors. Doctors in Cross River State, in the entire 18 local governments, are only about 23.
We must tell ourselves the truth right now. It's not about employment, it's about payments. Yes, because even if you open up the portal for employment, doctors will not apply. Because the pay is not also the best service.
I am standing up to support this motion that the government of the day, which the people oriented government, should as quickly as possible respond to this, our plea.
Speaker of the 10th Assembly, Elvet Ayambem, noted that the present administration is always responsive and assured that the resolution will be given prompt attention.
The administration has been very responsive and very swift in attending to issues. Most of the resolution we take on this floor are largely attended to. And of course, you know that Cross River State is very vast.
In Calabar, Uduak Etum, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Ogun State House of Assembly has confirmed the list of nominees as members for some statutory commissions as sent by Governor Dapo Abiodun. The lawmakers also invited some stakeholders involved in the Anchor Boroughs program of the federal government over alleged illegal deductions from the personal savings of some of the beneficiaries of the program. Yemi Dalemo has details on the report.
The confirmation of the nominees followed the presentation of the report of the Committee of the Whole House, chaired by the Assembly Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, presented by his deputy, Bolanle Latifat Ajayi, who moved for its adoption, seconded by Minority Leader Lukman Adeleye, and supported by the Whole House through a unanimous voice votes.
The committee found all the above-listed nominees eligible and suitable to occupy their proposed position in the statutory commissions in the state towards contributing their individual quota to the development of the statutory commissions in view of their enviable wealth of experience.
It is the opinion of this Honorable House that the request of the Governor, His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, for the confirmation of the nominees into some statutory commission be considered to as a resolution of this Honorable House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Resolution of this Honorable House to His Excellency the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for further necessary action.
The Assembly observed a minute silence in honor of the late Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in Ogun State, Ambassador Tunde Olatunji, and a former state lawmaker, James Bankole, who died recently. Meanwhile, the chairman, House Committee on Agriculture, Waliu Owode, during an engagement with representatives of the victims of Anchor Borrowers Program, invited stakeholders in the disbursement of the Anchor Borrowers Fund to beneficiaries in Ogun State over the alleged withdrawals of their savings by a commercial bank, and directed the management of the bank to stop debiting the account of the victims who were supposed to be subscribers of the program.
Secondly, you have short time, maybe less than 2 weeks, to start refunding their money. And I have a question for you. On whose instruction or whose behalf are you debiting them now?
The committee chairman explained that the invitation was to enable the lawmakers have a clear picture on financial transactions that led to the illegal deductions on personal savings of the victims and ensure the recovery of their funds. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
The Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has considered a motion to establish land allocation advisory committees in the 31 local government areas of the state to inspect, verify and register lands in rural areas, as well as grant customary rights of occupancy to indigents. Nsika Kokon reports Thus, the motion was presented by the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, who also represents a two-state constituency, Kufri Abasi Edidem.
The motion is in pursuant to Order 3, Rule 2 of the Standing Order of the House. The Deputy Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Kufri Abasi Edidem, notified the House of the need to establish a land allocation advisory committee to regulate land occupancy in the local communities, as it will help facilitate the acquisition of loans and other benefits.
Mandate the local government council chair and the land allocation advisory committee, when inaugurated, to issue customary right of occupancy to interested persons within their respective domain, so they can use that and access loan from agricultural land. Mr. Speaker, dear distinguished audience, and so
other lawmakers were of the opinion that, in accordance to the provision of the 1997 Land Use Act, the state governor should consider the motion.
I want to plead that to empower the government to do what it has to do, this act should be domesticated to give the government the power to make it law. Because if it happens, it's not going to investigate to confirm if they domesticated their own laws.
This motion is to tell the government to use its powers as given to it by the Constitution of Nigeria by this Land Use Act to allow a new government by this committee being set up to give people in the grassroots opportunity to acquire occupancy in their land, which they can present to bank and assess loan to help in their agricultural purposes, to help give our people the needed food to eat.
With the governor signed that act, it will empower whatever document bringing out from an LG, the bank will accept it because the act is already in place.
The Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udemotong, after extensive deliberations, directed the Clerk of the House, Nsi Karobon Orok, to communicate the resolution to the Governor for onward action.
Members, with the leave of this House, the prayers and the motion will be sent to the Excellency the Governor for him to call on the local government chairman to reactivate the land allocation advisory committees in different local governments.
Nsikak Okon, NTA News.
Meanwhile, members of the Ekiti State House of Assembly have stressed the need for promoting the concept of good conduct among children and the youth in the state through a statewide sensitization campaign and enlightenment program. This was part of the resolutions of the plenary session as the Assembly, following a motion on the imperatives of promoting the Omoluabi concept among Ekiti children and youth, which was moved by lawmaker representing Ado Constituency 1, Ayodeji Adegbite, and seconded by the lawmaker representing Oye Constituency, Tokwe Longe. The lawmaker submitted that high moral decadence being witnessed in the society can be attributed to the failure on the part of parents, calling on government to include the teaching of ethos and moral values in the school curriculum at all levels. Other members commended the mover of the motion for calling the attention of the lawmakers to the ugly trend among the youth in our society in recent times and condemned the level of moral decadence in the state, adding that by promoting the concept of good conduct among children and the youth, the society will be better. This is where we draw the curtains on today's parliamentary news. We thank you for watching. For more updates, kindly follow NTA Parliament on the platforms scrolling on your screen. Thanks for staying with us. Once again, I'm Lami Ali, and bye for now.